I'm not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for Life in UK Test Part 369, Glossary Part 5. While doing risk training, and if you participate in risk training, that's at your own risk. So we're going here through the Glossary Part 5. Now we're having composer. That is someone who writes music. We knowing a few. There is Henry Purcell. He was an organist. He was the organist at Westminster Abbey. He wrote church music and he was influential and he is influential. He wrote also operas and other stuff of music. Then there was George Frederick Handel. He wrote The Messiah, often sung at Easter. And he also made water music for George I and music of the fireworks for George II. Then there was Edward Elgar. I'm now a bit confused because of Sir Edwin Lutyens. Sir Edwin Lutyens, he made a Whitehall the cenotaph and he designed New Delhi. So it's Edward Elgar, the musician, he composed a cyclist on the planets called, and the music which he had done for Jupiter is used for I Vote to Be My Country. And then there was Ralph Vaughan Williams, there was nothing to it. Then there was Sir William Walton. There was someone doing marches and pomp and circumstance marches. Sir William Walton, he did the music, yes, it was the music for George VI's coronation and Queen Elizabeth II. And he made something else. It was Belshazzar. I know something about it. There was Belshazzar and something which is used as a ballet. And there was Benjamin Britten. He founded the festival at Oldenburg, the Oldenburg Festival in Suffolk. And he wrote a Young Mind's Guide to Music or so. Okay, let's look at two few things. What have we skipped? In Britain, he did Peter Grimm's and Billy Budd also. It was Facade which became a ballad by Sir William Walton. Benjamin Britten did the Peter Grimm's and Billy Budd. And it was A Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra. A Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra. And it was Edward Elgar who did the Pomp and Circumstance marches. And it was Gustav Holst with the planets. So a little bit confused. I think if I would think a bit more closely, I would be able. We're going to do it anyway sometime again, but these are composers who are composing things in music. By explaining conquered, that means beaten in a battle. Conquered does not just mean not just beaten in a battle, it means also conquered. Yes, it happens through battles. But it doesn't have to happen through. Yes, it happens at least through fighting. Do we have examples for conquered? When did we use conquered? They used it for the Romans. They used it for the Norman conquest. They used it and conquered Britain and conquered England. William the Conqueror, Norman conquest 1066, Hastings, Battle of Hastings. Okay, that is conquered. Sometimes someone else. Then having the constituency, a specific area where voters who live in that place, its constituents, can elect an MP to represent them in Parliament. The explanation is almost more complicated than the word. It is a specific area, but no one talks like that. It is a specific area. Yes, it is a specific area. It's not every day a new one. That's the area. But we're talking now about the constituency. Is it necessary to say that it is a specific area? A constituency is an area. Is a specific area where the voters who live in that place and they are the constituents, they can elect an MP to represent them in Parliament. Now, and that MP is then representing the constituency, which are the voters in that country. And not only the people who voted for him are represented, but also everyone else living there. Because there can only come one MP of a constituency. The explanation is almost more complex than the word. Where did we have it? We had that We had it somewhere. MPs are elected through a system called first past the post. That means the winner wins, the one with the most votes. In each constituency, the candidates who get the most votes is elected. The candidate who gets the most votes is elected. The government is usually formed by the party that wins the majority of constituencies. If no party wins the majority, two parties may join together to form a coalition. Yes, that's a constituency, that's an area, and the people living there are voting for someone. So these people are in the constituents, it's that area is a constituency, and they are voting for a member of parliament representing that area. Of course, not the piece of country, but the people living there. And the country itself also, because the MPs are also looking for the environment, because the people are living in the environment. Without the environment, the people couldn't live there. The Constitution. Let's look how we're going to explain that. The Constitution in law. The legal structure of established laws and principles which is used to govern a country. So the Constitution, now in law, is the structure of how all the laws are happening, so that with that laws a country is running. So Constitution and laws is the structure of established laws and principles. I'm not sure what's easier to understand, the word or the explanation, or the thing itself. Convention in government, an agreement often between countries about particular rules or codes of behavior. Let's redo it again. A convention in the context of government, an agreement often between countries about particular rules or codes of behavior. Ah, that is what we mean. They mean the European Convention on Human Rights. Because the convention is other times something completely different. And they already, I think, used the one for 2 times things which are different. Now, they saying a convention in the sense of convenir, of working together, means they are referring to the European Convention on Human Rights. And they are included in 1998 into the British law. They are the rights of human beings, the basic rights. So, the right to live in the first place, then also the right not to be harmed, and also no forced labor, the right to liberty and security, right for fair court trial, freedom of thought, conscience, religion, and speech. If someone does not know that word and looks now into the glossary to understand that word, it might be a little helpful because that explanation is pretty specifically always to the thing which is explained there right now. Yes, so maybe it is helpful. But I don't know. Someone who does not know these words, will we understand it then? Yes, we will, because it's always exactly written to the thing which is used in that context there. We will continue in the 6th part of the glossary. Now we're going to do risk training. If you participate in risk training, it is your own risk, and if you wonder why we're so slowly with it, because we're trying to use it as relearning the things. Risk training. We're having the arm. Always a good and stable stance, a little more control of the wider part of the legs. We're having the arms next to us, the hands on the fists, and we're bringing these fists down and again up. And we're having the 3 rules. The first rule is that we are stopping immediately as soon as we feel pain. The second rule is that we're going only as fast as we can go with a little bit of effort. And the third rule is that we're not overdoing it. So last one. Up. And down. And that's that here. So better. Now we're doing the flashlight. Hands next to us, and we're bringing them to the inside. To the outside with this flashlight. And the same 3 rules. Stop immediately as soon as you feel pain. Go only as fast as you can go with a little bit of effort. And not overdo it. last one. Now the magician, flat hands, everything. And into the inside, and to the outside. But I don't think they said during the text which word is then explained in the glossary. So people who regularly don't understand these words also don't understand many more words in this book than just them. They would just find the fifth, sixth of the words which we're searching for in the glossary. They were just widely searching back and forth. Now the pancake flipper. Flat hands next to us, and we're opening and we're closing. And last time. And now the quadrangular castle architect. Both hands out with fists, and you bring them to the inside. And up to the outside. And down to the inside. Now to the inside. Out. And just outside. Up. And in. And now the crab next to a fever. Arm next to us, we bring the hand down, the hand has a fist, is a fist, and we're pressing a bit against it. Careful. Now we're pulling a bit. And we're pressing a bit. And again, open water. Now the other side, hands come to a fist. Bring it down, and we're pressing a bit against it. Now from the outside, a bit pulling. And from the top, we're pressing against the foot metacarpal. And now from. Now, we're going with the fingers over the middle part of the lower arm to relax the muscle there. One last time. And on the other side. And last time. We're having almost 2 minutes to look for the gardens. Kew Garden, Sissinghurst, Hitcote, Craig's Castle, and Inverary Castle. Inverary Castle. So maybe it's also Crafts Castle. Crafts Castle. Okay. Kew Garden, Sissinghurst, Hitcote, Crafts Castle, Inverary Castle. Inverary Castle. But most of them, the architects, I have to start to remember it were before. No, we were not. We were after Spawn, after music, after music, after Spawn, after music. The last thing was Edwin Lutyens. Edwin Lutyens. He designed New Delhi and the Cenotaph in Whitehall. And the firms of modern British architects are, for example, the one by Sir Norman Foster, Lord Richard Rogers, and Dame Zaha Hadid. Is that something of use if we know that? I cannot imagine if you're going to ask it in the test. Sir Norman Foster, Lord Richard Rogers, Dame Zaha Hadid. Nothing explained, just the 3 names. Yes, they said they had firms or so, but just 3 names. Sir Norman Foster, Lord Richard Rogers, Dame Zaha Hadid. We can at least be able to recognize the names again. But not now, we don't have time left. I thank you very much, and next time.